Hi everyone, and welcome to week 8. So there's a lot of really important information in this video that I'm going to go over because just a few things that I realized. One, some of you have spring break this week. So I think those students that are in Williamson and Wilson counties, I know for a fact have spring break. Rutherford counties, which is where I am, and I know a chunk of you are, is not for 2 more weeks. We have a really, really late spring break, and I'm pretty sure all the rest of you are somewhere kind of in between or either this week or in 2 weeks. So that's kind of the problem with sometimes with an online class. Like the last time I taught 1010, all my students were at Wilson Central, which made it really easy because I was like, oh, here's your break. And we all just take that same break. But in this case, we all have different breaks. And I've realized that, and so I'm making just a few changes because, guys, if you have a vacation planned with your family or with your friends, I want you to enjoy that, right? I want you to have your spring break because we all need that mental break. I will be giving y'all time off during Rutherford County spring break, which is, I do believe, like you can even see it in the Dropbox. It is like the week, we go down here. Yeah, if you notice, there's no week 11 because our spring break starts March 30th. So I will be giving y'all a break that week to catch up on anything that you might be behind on, or if you want to take your spring break and then catch up on your work that week, then you can do that. So in light of that, for the rest of March, I am giving y'all extra days on the assignments. Like I will not be counting off late points if you don't get your assignment turned in right at Sunday at 11:59 p.m. If that was your spring break, take your spring break, come back, get your work turned in. I'm not counting any late points for the next 3 weeks. After that, I'll start counting off some late points again. But just in light of spring break, we can do that. So with the discussion boards, those are a little bit trickier. So for this week, I had a peer review scheduled for y'all to do for your interview project. I am making that optional this week. So if you want to upload a copy of your interview project here, start a thread, you can do that, and then feel free to comment on any of your classmates. I am going to be turning the points off associated with this, and all of you are automatically going to earn the rough draft and peer review points for this assignment. So you do not have to participate in the peer review. But again, if you want someone else or if you want me to take a look at it, drop it in this discussion, and I will be happy to do that. So anybody's interview project that has had no comments on it by Friday afternoon, I will go and make comments on it, just if you want that feedback before you turn it into the Dropbox. Again, it is due Sunday. If this is your, I have a feeling I can go back and double check, but I know who's in Williamson County, who's in Wilson County. If you don't get your interview project turned in right at Sunday and you need a few extra days, that's going to be perfectly fine. If you want to send me a reminder email about that, that's perfectly fine to do as well. But yes, you automatically, happy spring break gift from me, you automatically, or all of you are going to earn your peer review and rough draft points on this particular project. Because, yeah, I know how important spring break is. As I said, our spring break, I will actually be traveling down to Orlando because my daughter is marching in a parade with her band. Siegel High School is marching at Universal Studios, and we're going to go watch her. So I'm a big fan of taking your breaks when you can. So in light of that, too, let's see here. I do want to mention I am going to go ahead and assign the next assignment. They overlap just a little bit, but we're going to work on it a little bit more next week. So we are going to be doing a movie analysis. This is not a movie review. It is an analysis, and we're going to kind of talk about the differences between the two. So analysis papers are a frequent paper assigned on the college level. So in an analysis, you are given a subject and then you must judge it on preset criteria, or sometimes you're given choices and you must kind of come up with the criteria on your own. So a paper we will be doing now soon is something called something soon is called a genre analysis. And I don't want you to worry about that too yet. That's going to be assigned in about 2 or 3 weeks from now. But we've been working on primary source writing. So this interview project is a primary source project. And just to kind of help get our minds in that analytical writing mindset, we're going to do a little bit of a mini paper. So what I'm going to have you do is you can pick any movie you want. It can be a movie that you like, a movie that you hate, a movie that you're meh about, but you watched it and you figured, hey, this will work for this assignment. And you're going to construct a 1-page minimum. So it's not huge. As I said, I just want you to get in this analytical writing mindset. 12-point font, double-spaced analysis of a movie. So you must include criteria for your analysis with specific examples for the movie. So you can't simply say, this movie is the best or worst, or just give me a huge plot summary based off of that. So your criteria can include any of the following. So acting, musical score, writing, cinematography, emotional impact, so like the pathos of the movie, originality, directing, visual effects, costumes, etc. Like if there's something else that you can think of that, oh, this would be a great thing to analyze in a movie, I'm giving you the freedom to do that. You do not have to cover all of these, but I want you to pick at least 4. So 4 is really important. Can't emphasize this enough, no plot summary, but you can use elements of the plot to highlight the criteria. So this is a great example. I love the movie The Princess Bride, one of my favorites as a child of the 80s. Love it, love it, love it. Not a huge fan of the music in it, but this could be an example if I was choosing to analyze music of a movie. So I could say the music in the movie The Princess Bride is a prime example of 1980s synthesized music. Modern audience might find it annoying. However, it is fast-paced and exciting. During the fight scenes between the Dread Pirate Roberts and Inigo Montoya, but soft and romantic during any scenes between Wesley and Buttercup. So it helps convey the emotions that the director is wanting the audience to feel at the time. So, you can go into a little bit more depth there. I was just trying to give you kind of like a little mini idea of what I would be looking for there. Or like if any of you love, let's say like action movies, like any of the Marvel movies, if you listen to the music, it's always very fast paced with a lot of like trumpets to kind of give it that, almost patriotic, bombastic feel to it. That's just a really good example. Or, think of movies where, the actor just either did a really, really great job, like made you suspend the disbelief that, that they're in space or whatever, traveling at the speed of light. Or maybe it's a time where a movie where the acting was just really, really terrible. I mean, I'm trying to think of what would be a good example. Like a lot of people hate on Twilight. They think that, was it Kristen Stewart who played Bella only had like 2 facial expressions throughout the entire movie and that her acting range wasn't quite there for that particular character. And I'm not hating on it. I'm just repeating some, because I know some people really, really love those Twilight movies. I'm just kind of repeating what some critics that I have heard say of her performance in that particular movie. So, just think about things like that. Cinematography, just so you know, is kind of like the camera angles that they were using. Like if they used some really, really kind of interesting ways to segue between one scene to the other by using some neat little camera shots. That's what that particular thing means. Or think of The Sound of Music. If any of you have ever watched The Sound of Music, it's an older movie, but it has this like really wide sweeping like helicopter shot of Julie Andrews right before she bursts out into song, The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Music. That's cinematography. And it just kind of like set the pace for the movie almost immediately. It's like, oh, this is going to be a grand adventure. And so, I don't want you to be worried about this too much right now. I want you to concentrate on finishing up your interview project. We're going to be hitting hard and heavy on this a little bit more next week, but I just kind of wanted you to have it in the back of your mind, just so that way maybe this week you can watch a couple of movies and decide, hey, would I want to analyze this one or not? And just kind of start getting in that analytical mindset of really paying attention to the actors. Did they do a good job? Did they do a good job with the writing? That's one of the biggest complaints. Oh, I can give you a great example for writing in the Star Wars movies. Let me see if I can pull this up for just so that way you're not... just to kind of give you like Star Wars pictures or whatnot. So, oh my gosh, my husband hated this movie. So in Star Wars, when they created the last trilogy, there were 3 directors that were going to direct this thing. So it was J.J. Abrams was going to do the first one, Rian Johnson was going to do the second one, and Colin Trevorrow was going to do the third one. Before they made these movies, you would think that those 3 directors would sit down and like write out what the story was going to be, like the overall arching story between 3 movies. They did not do that. So when Rian Johnson came out with The Last Jedi here, Colin Trevorrow quit because his vision for what the third movie was going to look like was basically ruined by what Rian Johnson did with the second movie. And so it wound up being a hot mess because of the writing. They didn't plan out the writing, and so that's why they seem just a little bit disjointed. And plus, Luke Skywalker never would have been the way Luke Skywalker was in this movie. So anyway, I digress. Sorry, we're Star Wars fans at our house. But just to kind of give you an example of writing. So anyway, this week, watch movies, enjoy them, think about what you might want to analyze. We'll be going over some examples next week. You'll be doing kind of a mini analysis in the discussion boards. I think it's the discussion boards. It might be an asynchronous assignment, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I want you to have fun with this. And yeah, sometimes students have a little bit more fun when they analyze a movie that they hate. So either way you want to do it is going to be perfectly fine with me. So keep up with the assignments. I did turn in midterm grades to MTSU this week. And so this past week. And so some of you, if your grade's not exactly where you want it to be, we can work on that and get your grade up before the end of the semester. So anyway, y'all have a great week. If you're on spring break, enjoy. And I will catch y'all next week.